NoFap. How long does Flatline last? This is one of the most frequently asked questions I get, and in this video we are going to take a look at that, and in the later part of the video I'm going to share something interesting with you, so make sure to stay to the very end. Scandinavian Bob here, hi. Yeah, a real voice and person behind this video who has been involved in the porn addiction community for more than a decade now. So if you're getting tired of all these fake AI videos out there, consider subscribing. Okay guys, let's get one thing out of the way right from the start. This is one of the hardest questions to answer. Why? Well, because there are hundreds of factors involved. I could make it easy for me and just say something, oh, the flatline lasts about 4 weeks. But that would be such a pile of you know what, because it's not that easy. Let's dive a little deeper, and now, here's the deal. To make it easier to understand, we have to divide NoFappers into a few different groups here. Group A1. This is the older guys who did not have high-speed internet when they become interested in the opposite sex. These are guys who are born around 1979 or earlier. Some of these guys did also experience being intimate with a real-life partner before they started using online high-speed adult entertainment. Then we have group B1, and these are young guys who started fapping to online adult entertainment at a very early age. Some of them long before they even got their first kiss from a real girl. Now these guys are in a worse situation because they are at the peak of brain plasticity when they are getting exposed to the high stimulating entertainment. So they get deeper brain changes from the addiction. Group A1, on the other hand, was able to develop normal pathways in their brains to real-life girls before they started using high-speed stimulation, because there was no high-speed internet when they were growing up. Guys back then were seeking adult magazines and things like that, and everyone knows that that is nowhere near as powerful as today's high-speed tube sites. Okay, so now we have these two groups, and obviously the average flatline in group A is going to be different from group B, but there are so many variables, so we have to make two more groups. Let's call them A2 and B2. You see, addiction is not really an on-off thing. Some people can have a very mild addiction, while another can have a really severe addiction. So the A2 group, well, we still have our older guys here again. You know, guys like yours truly, Scandinavian Bob. Yep, so now you know I'm probably older than most of you. And in this A2 group, the guys only have a moderate to mild addiction. And of course, now you can figure out what the B2 group will be like. Yes, in here we have our young guys again, and they are only mildly addicted, but they started out early. Okay, great. So now we have 4 groups here. The A1 and B1 groups have severe addictions, and the A2 and B2 only a mild addiction. Okay, so now we can start to give at least a bit more exact answers. Remember now, the numbers I'm about to share are still average numbers from within those groups. There are always exceptions, so don't freak out if you feel something is wrong. Let's start with A2. The older guys who were lucky enough to not develop a severe addiction. Well, the average flatline is about 2 to 6 weeks for those guys. Then let's look at A1, the older guys with a severe addiction. Their average flatline is usually around 4 to 8 weeks. Now moving on to the young fellows over here in B2, they are only mildly addicted, but they started out early. So the average here is somewhere around 4 to 10 weeks. Moving on to B1, which is going to be the most brutal group. The young guys who started out early and developed a severe addiction. And it is in this group we also see the most variation in length. So much so that it is even difficult to calculate an average, but it would look something like this: 8 to 18 weeks. Now remember, those numbers were about the flatline, and that is not necessarily the same as recovery. Not everyone is fully recovered when they get out of the flatline. Well, I have made a PMO recovery time calculator where you fill in your age, a couple of things about your history of use, and a few other things, and then it spits out a recovery time estimation tailored to your unique situation. And that way the answer becomes at least a bit more exact. If you're interested in trying the recovery time estimator, you can find a link to it under this video. It's 100% free. And oh hey guys, speaking of different degrees of addiction, click on the video you see on the screen right here if you want to see just how severely addicted I was myself before I finally managed to quit for good.
This is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today. Subscribe for more, and as always, I wish you all the best on your journey to become a dopamine-focused warrior.